My name is Jay Sugarman, and I want to welcome you to Museum Open House. This ongoing series features and highlights many of the outstanding museums and other cultural institutions. The main purpose of most programs is to inform viewers about current and upcoming exhibits, various programs, resources, and other opportunities that are available for the general public. Today, via Zoom, we're fortunate to have as our guests Sophia Day, DBCO, and Olivia Maday, all of whom are associated with the diverse exhibition entitled It Followed Me Home, which is on display at Gallery 263 in Cambridge until March 16th. Sophia is an interdisciplinary artist who also serves as the operation manager at Gallery 263. DBCO is a visual artist, and Olivia is a filmmaker and multidisciplinary artist. Together with Chris Diani, DBCO and Olivia were the curators of the exhibition, which features works by 27 first and second year graduate students at the School of the Museum of Fine Arts at Tufts University. The exhibition showcases Gallery 263's Community Partnership Program, a collaboration with local artist groups that provides them with real-life experience of all that's involved in creating a gallery show. Let's start by meeting our guest and then hearing all about Gallery 263 and It Followed Me Home. Welcome. So delighted you're all able to be here.
Thank you.
I'm eager to hear about the collaboration between Gallery 263 and Tufts and have you inform viewers. But before we jump right to that, I think it would be of interest if each of you would just very briefly share maybe a little bit more about your background, professional, artistic interests. Sophia, would you please start?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Sophia. I've been the operations director at Gallery 263 since September 2023. I'm actually an alum of the SMFA MFA program. I graduated about 2 years ago. I'm an interdisciplinary artist, which means I work across a lot of different mediums. So I'm mostly a painter, but I also do some sculpture and some installation, and I teach as well at several local universities.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. DBCO, a few words about yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm GB Ko. I'm a first year MFA student at SMFA at Tufts, and I'm mainly an oil painter and installation artist. I work with various media such as fiber, text, and painting, and mostly focus on landscapes as like a metaphor for human experiences and tackle themes of migration and isolation.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Olivia, welcome. A few words about your background.
Yeah, thank you, Jay. My name's Olivia. I'm an interdisciplinary artist. I work primarily in video, sound, and installation art. I'm currently the postgraduate teaching fellow at the School of the Museum of Fine Arts at Tufts University, and I'm working in curatorial practice and media arts currently.
Wonderful, wonderful. Getting back to you, Sophia, would you first share a little bit about the history and the overall mission of Gallery 263, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So we were founded about 17 years ago. We'll actually be celebrating our 17th birthday this summer in June, if anyone wants to swing by for the birthday party. We've been a nonprofit since 2010. We're actually the only nonprofit art gallery in the Cambridgeport area. And we are committed to advancing the mission of contemporary art, specifically by showing largely regionally inspired but conceptually driven art, and as well as inspiring a lifelong love of art and engagement with local community members and audiences. The way that we work is a little different compared to most other art galleries. So firstly, since we're a nonprofit, we don't take a commission off of any work. So our artists are actually able to keep the majority of their sales, which is really lovely. And it's something that we're really, really proud of. Additionally, all of our shows come through open calls. Almost entirely all of our shows come through open calls. So that means that we don't maintain a roster of artists, but rather anyone, as long as you meet the requirements of the show, is welcome to apply, which is a really lovely kind of egalitarian model. So it's not about who you know, it's really the quality of the work. that inspires us to show the work. We host around 10 to 12 exhibitions a year, as well as an artist in residence in the summer, which is a really fun opportunity for us. We give this space over to an artist and they can kind of do whatever they want with it over the course of 6 weeks, and they get a week-long exhibition at the end. And then on top of all of that, we have several public programs and classes and community events throughout the year.
Wow, wow, lots going on there for sure. I know a rather new initiative is the Community Partnership Program. We're going to hear much more of it in action shortly by DBCO and Olivia, but would you say just a couple of words about that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a new initiative as of this year. It was born out of somewhat unusual circumstances where it's worth noting that the gallery is a very small staff. We have a staff of 3 part-time employees. I'm one of them, as well as a volunteer board. And 2 of our staff members welcomed new children into this world this year, which we are super excited about. But it also meant that we had some unusual gaps in our exhibition schedule. And as part of our mission to really engage with the community and uplift local and emerging artists, we came up with this community partnership program. So the idea is that we will be partnering with various local arts organizations, such as students from various universities, or local artist studios, or anyone who would really benefit from the experience of having an exhibition in a space. And we walk them through every step of the process of, how do you write a compelling proposal? How do you select work? How do you install your work? How do you price your work? Everything from A to Z, essentially, because I know as an artist, it can sometimes be very intimidating to engage with galleries. There's a lot that you don't know. A lot of the processes are really opaque. So the idea is to kind of demystify that and to give people a learning opportunity. And so when this opening came about and we had the opportunity to implement this program this spring, myself and the board thought that the students at SMFA at Tufts would be a great starting point. As an alum of the program, I had my first year show at an external gallery, and it was such an amazing learning experience. And in fact, that gallery was run by other alums of SMFA. So I wanted to be able to return the favor to the incoming cohort.
Terrific, terrific. As a nice segue, Olivia, could you share just a little bit about the school, the Museum of Fine Arts at Tufts University?
Sure. So what I think is so unique about the SMFA at Tufts University is that it really blends a rigorous studio practice with all of the academic resources of a major research institution. And so what this means is that the program really fosters an interdisciplinary and conceptual approach to art making, which is so important. And really thinking about the MFA program in particular, it's really designed to support emerging artists through mentorship, critique, research opportunities, travel opportunities, as well as these external exhibition opportunities that are designed to help students really develop their ongoing practice in art as well as career in art.
So it sounds like just a perfect match with the community partnership program with the Tufts University overall mission. Fabulous, fabulous. DBCO, can you continue by sharing how It Followed Me Home came about?
Yeah, so just as Fee and Olivia said, it was a partnership between SMFA and Gallery 263. And the goal really was to connect MFA students to a real world gallery. And so we all had an experience, in every aspect, curating, installing, and mainly showing work in a professional gallery, which was all really exciting for all of us. For it to come about, we all started with the idea of making small works. And so this was a challenge for a lot of the students because a lot of us tend to work really large. And so that was where we started the idea. And as curators, me and Chris Diani, we did studio visits with every single artist that wanted to be involved. And we had conversations with them and talked about the kind of work that they wanted to put in the show. And with that, we chose pieces, and the idea was just really to experiment and have fun with these small works, but still really reflect on the ideas and themes that we all really work with. And together it came with this It Followed Me Home show. We chose the title mostly by looking at all the works that were gathered and really thought about how each piece sort of reflected the things that each artist, the thoughts and feelings we would bring home with us. And so that's how we sort of started this show.
Terrific, terrific. Can you briefly share, before we have the opportunity to look at some individual pieces, just an overview of the range of submissions?
Yeah, so there's actually a lot of media involved. There's textile and fiber, there's ink on paper, there's photography, abstract art, oil painting. And so it's really a wide variety of different media. And so it's something that people will really enjoy.
Terrific. And here's some wonderful wide shots, just showing the overall layout. Again, just another wonderful opportunity for you and your colleagues to collaborate on in an actual gallery and putting it all together like this. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, moving on, we're fortunate to have some nice close-ups of several of the participants. Would you please, either Olivia or DBCO, share a little bit about this artist and what we're enjoying in front of us?
Yeah, so this is artwork by artist Lou Adami, who is a second-year MFA student, and they work primarily in performance and textile. And this piece in particular, this is titled Forever Forever, and it is a machine embroidery on corduroy with pearls and glass beads. So Lou is really interested in exploring and using the use of color, line, and space to really explore interpersonal relationships. And this piece in particular is part of a larger body of work about one-on-one relationships and love.
Fabulous, fabulous. Love the range of materials here. Okay, moving on to the next piece. What are we enjoying here?
Yeah, so this is Ari Grubb's piece called Come Out of the Water. It's 11 by 11-inch ceramic piece. And so basically Ari is a Boston-based interdisciplinary artist that works with all these different media, from animation to ceramics to puppet making. And they basically made this piece out of the idea that they were raised in a very evangelical, conservative Christian environment. And the whole idea of the fish coming out of the water is showing this evolution of going out of this mindset and really embracing their identity and queer identity. So yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Are there any written reflections that visitors can access somehow to find out a little bit more, like you just explained, DBCO, the story behind the pieces?
Yeah, so actually, there's a binder with all the artist statements and all the artist bios within the gallery, so people can definitely look at that when they visit.
Terrific, terrific. Thank you. And this piece here, Olivia?
Yeah, so this piece is by artist Gracie Korstjens, who is a first-year MFA student who works primarily in printmaking and craft. And this untitled work is a woven screen print on paper. And Gracie is really interested in exploring the relationship between humans and non-humans and the concept of othering as well, and really
Wow.
thinking about animals and insects and lab and scientific environments. And then taking that idea of othering and relating those interactions with those that occur amongst humans and other humans, particularly within a heteronormative society, and thinking about the othering that occurs towards the queer community. And the primary goal of their work is really to provoke reflection and empathy.
Wow, I mean, we've only seen a few pieces so far, and I don't think we could use the word diverse and have it mean as much as it can mean with the range of submissions. It's fabulous. And I know we're going to see it expanded as we continue. With that regard, DBCO, what are we seeing in front of us?
Yeah, so this is Sangbin Lee's piece, Empty Hands. It's a 6 by 18 inch acrylic on canvas. And Sangbin Lee is a Korean American artist from Georgia who works with acrylic and ceramics. And basically, this piece is really interesting because it is one of the challenges that Sangbin usually works with 8 by 5 feet. So this was really small. And also, Sangbin tends to create self-portraits. And so this particular piece is a self-portrait where the koi fish is a metaphor for humans and being confined. The idea of the title is Empty Hands because it talks about the expectations that we all grow up with, but also the false promises that we are faced with in life.
Fabulous, fabulous. This next one here, Olivia, please.
Yeah, so this artwork is by artist Ji Yoon Lim. And Ji Yoon Lim is a first-year MFA student who works primarily in painting, and this is an acrylic on canvas piece. And so the artist really talks about her experience as an international student studying in New York City during the pandemic and the feeling of isolation and depression that came along with that. And so that's when her practice really shifted to drawing blind contour lines of her hands, transforming them into abstract expressions of healing. And so that's really what she focuses on, this practice of healing and connecting with herself and her existence. So she continues to do a lot of these drawings of hands and paintings of hands to explore this reclamation of joy and gratitude.
Wonderful. Wow. With that explanation, you can definitely appreciate it, as well as just her wonderful sense of color here and how it all comes together. Wonderful. Thank you. DBCO, what are we enjoying in front of us?
Yeah, so this piece is by Marius Marjolin and entitled Assigned Dyke at Birth, and it's a 11 by 14 risograph print on paper. Marius is a queer mixed American printmaker and illustrator, and they work with all different media from posters and comics to mixed media. And basically, they make a lot of very intimate and personal work that highlight queer or racial subcultures and histories, and they push against the idea of biological sex and really create and redefine gender through color and images. And this is one of those pieces.
Thank you very much. I think one of the last pieces we'll enjoy, Olivia.
Yes, DBCO, do you mind taking away this one
Yeah,
as well?
sure. This is a piece by Mi Jung Yeon, and she is a Korean artist. It's entitled, but it's an 8.5 ink on paper. And basically, Mi Jung is a drawing artist that works with a lot of natural phenomena. It's very abstract. The goal is really to both confuse, but also feel like really meditative and relaxed with a piece. And I think it creates that duality and juxtaposition. The interesting thing about Mi Jung is it's a very precise mark making. And so this creates, this sensual, but also very intricate experience with the artist and the viewer.
Nice, nice. DBCO, I believe you also have a piece in the exhibition as well. Would you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I do have a piece in the show. It's called Liberté, and it's an ink piece that basically expresses the feeling of wanting to be free, but being stuck in a landscape. And so this piece just talks about how, humans were always being in different positions and being in different places, and we're all met with circumstances from illnesses to issues, and because of that we have this sense that we want to be free. And so I created an ink piece on parchment with plastic to show that idea.
Wonderful, wonderful. Olivia and DBCO, before we move on, it's just striking me hearing about this incredible range of work on display and the talents of the students. Just a few comments, and actually maybe Sophia, you as well, since you're a graduate, of the atmosphere there. I mean, you outlined wonderfully the program, but it must be just an incredible bonus, or maybe even one of the better features is having the opportunity to interact with the incredible student body in the program and get inspiration, motivation, whatever it might be from them. Maybe just a quick reflection about that. Olivia, would you offer your comments, please?
Of course. When we were first doing studio visits to select works for the show, I think it was so striking to walk into so many different studio spaces of these artists and really witness just the range of works that these artists are creating. And it's so amazing to see because at this show at Gallery 263, these are just small works, but you can still tell how much effort and thought goes into each and every one of these works. So really going into the studios and seeing just the range that these artists can create is something amazing to witness. And it's quite inspiring as well. It's really, really amazing.
And the commentary that you and DBCO gave, which visitors can find out more in the accompanying notebook, give much more of the overview of the artistic and creative intent of all the participants. DBCO, just a quick reflection about the program participation, other students.
Yeah, I think the program is really interesting because it's very diverse and it's very interdisciplinary. We're not required to stick to one medium, and so that really allows us to expand and explore different things. You know, a lot of people came into the program with one medium and end up in a completely different when they graduate. And so I think that's really exciting because there's just so much opportunity to explore. And I think something amazing about the program as well is the studio spaces that we're given. We're given a lot of freedom and a lot of space so that we can really work on small or large pieces, which I think is quite unique to the school. And yeah, the faculty is great. They're very supportive, which I think is a wonderful addition to the program.
Terrific, terrific. And Sophia, a few reflections about your experience.
Yeah, absolutely. My experience very much aligns with that of Olivia and DBCO's, where it is such a unique program. Where I've been in programs previously where it was like you're just in a painting drawing program and that is the only thing you can do. But when I came to SMFA, all of a sudden it was like the world opened up to me. And being in a singular studio building with all of my cohort members, some of them are photographers, some do textile, some of them do sculpture, bookbinding, paper making. And just that range of approaches is so inspiring. And I felt that I myself grew as an artist. And like DBCO said, I came in as a painter. I left as a truly interdisciplinary artist. And I think that's one of the real strengths of the program. And also partially why I was really drawn to this program for this opportunity, because I knew we were going to get a huge range of approaches and thought processes on view.
Thank you, thank you. Back to the exhibition, DBCO, what do you hope visitors and others appreciate and come away with after visiting the exhibition at Gallery 263?
Yeah, I think the first is really just to have fun with all the pieces. I mean, there's such a wide range and variety of personal narratives and contemporary art practices shown in the show. So I think it's just something that they can enjoy. But also another thing would probably be to come out with questions because of the themes that are tackled with each piece. You know, there's a lot of not just social political themes, but also very personal things. And so that would be nice if people can come in, enjoy, and ask questions after.
Terrific, terrific. Olivia, what do you see the role of exhibition like this as a link and bridging the gap between, say, MFA programs and the broader art world?
Yeah, I think that having the opportunity to exhibit within a gallery setting is so important for MFA students because it's an opportunity to present work beyond an academic setting and really engage with the broader art community. It's also a development in professional practice, engaging with curators and gallery representatives, as well as the local art scene, and really seeing how people respond to your work within that setting. And I think it's also a great way to really build a network that you can have moving forward within your career in the arts. So it is super, super important.
Just as a quick reflection, Olivia and DBCO, what's one thing that either stood out from this experience from you as a co-curator that you learned, DBCO?
Yeah, well, I'm a first year student, and so this was my first time curating anything. And so I think that was a huge challenge for me, having to see all the work that comes into preparing a show. But I think that was just a learning experience for me, and just really being able to experience, the joy of how each artist can contribute so much just through a conversation or a small piece. I think that was a really interesting takeaway for me.
Terrific, terrific. Olivia, a reflection from you, please.
Yeah, I think this was an amazing opportunity to collaborate with so many different artists. I graduated from the MFA program last year, so it was really great to learn about the works of the first year MFA students as well, and really see how the art world is, developing with these future prospective MFA students as well. So it's just been so wonderful to work with so many diverse individuals who bring this diverse body of work to the gallery space.
Wonderful. Sophia, from the viewpoint of Gallery 263, what's been the collaboration like? What have you observed about this new initiative?
Yeah, so this is our first iteration, so we're very much still figuring some things out, but it's been a real joy thus far because, in a sense, we're a little bit more hands-off than we typically are because this is meant to be a learning opportunity for students. They're taking the lead on this. So there were several points of this process that were a bit of a surprise to me. I didn't know what the works were going to be initially. I'm not the curator for this. I wasn't sure what the installation was going to look like. I laid out tools the night before and I was like, here's the door code, go for it. So it's been like a really pleasant series of just delightful surprises throughout.
Terrific, terrific. In closing, Sophia, could you share with us some of the other current and upcoming plans at Gallery 263?
Yeah, of course. As always, we have a lot of things in the works. Right now, we are about to premiere our artist development series, which is something I'm especially proud of. It's a series of workshops and programs aimed at emerging and young artists to help give them the skills that they need to succeed in professional environments. It was things that, I received in my graduate program, but many artists don't necessarily have access to. So we're going to be starting that series of workshops on March 6th. We're going to have a juried exhibition opening right after the SMFA exhibition. It's a really unique little exhibition because it's comprised of artists who have submitted to us previously, but who we were not able to offer a full show, but whose work we really enjoyed and thought there was something special in them. And then we're going to be gearing up for the summer for our big birthday party bash, for our artist in residence program. So there's always something in the works at Gallery 263.
Definitely, definitely. A lot going on. As you mentioned in the introductory comments, so many exhibitions throughout the year, as well as these other events and opportunities. Well, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the program. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to be here. Been most informative. Encourage viewers and others to make their way to Gallery 263 to see the exhibition. It followed me home, and to continue to stay in touch with upcoming program. Continued success with future endeavors.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Also want to thank those of you watching for joining us and hope you'll be able to tune in next time.